Spoken Realms and Mike Vendetti Productions proudly present Nightshade by Dashiell Hammett, narrated by Mike Vendetti. A sedan with no lights burning was standing beside the road just above Pawnee Hills Bridge, and as I drove past it, a girl put her head out and said, "Please." Her voice was urgent, but there was not enough excitement in it to make it either harsh or shrill. Put on my brakes, then backed up. By that time, a man had got out of the sedan. There was enough light to let me see. He was young and fairly big. Moved a hand in the direction I had been going and said, "On your way, buddy." The girl said again, "Will you drive me into town, please?" She seemed to be trying to open the sedan door. Her hat had been pushed forward over one eye. I said, "Sure." The man in the road took a step toward me, moved his hand as before, and growled, "Scram, you." I got out of my car. The man in the road had started toward me when another man's voice came from the sedan. In a harsh, warning voice, "Go easy, Tony, it's Jack by." The sedan door swung open and the girl jumped out. Tony said, "Oh." His feet shuffled uncertainly on the road, but when he saw the girl making for my car, he cried indignantly at her, "Listen, you can't ride to town with—" She was in my roadster then. "Good night," she said. He faced me, shook his head stubbornly, began, "I'll be damned if I'll let—" I hit him. The knockdown was firm enough because I hit him hard, but I think he could have got up again if he had wanted to. I gave him a little time, then asked the fellow in the sedan, "All right with you?" I still could not see him. "He'll be all right," he replied quickly. "I'll take care of him all right." "Thanks." I climbed into my car beside the girl. The rain I had been trying to get to town ahead of was beginning to fall. A coupe with a man and a woman in it passed us going toward town. We followed the coupe across the bridge. The girl said, "This is awfully kind of you. I wasn't in any danger back there, but was nasty." "They wouldn't be dangerous," I said, "but they would be nasty." "You know them?" "No." "But they knew you. Tony Forrest and Fred Barnes." When I did not say anything, she added, "They were afraid of you." "I'm a desperate character." She laughed. "And pretty nice of you, too, tonight. I wouldn't have gone with either of them alone, but I thought with two of them—" She turned up the collar of her coat. "It's raining on me." I stopped the roadster again and hunted for the curtain that belonged on her side of the car. "So, your name's Jack By," she said, while I was strapping it on. "And yours is Helen Warner." "How'd you know?" She had straightened her hat. "I've seen you around." I finished attaching the curtain and got back in. "Did you know who I was when I called to you?" she asked when we were moving again. "Yes." "It was silly of me to go out with them like that." "You're shivering." "It's chilly." I said I was sorry my flask was empty. We turned into the western end of Hellman Avenue. It was 4 minutes past 10 by the clock in front of the jewelry store on the corner of Laurel Street. A policeman in a black rubber coat was leaning against the clock. I did not know enough about perfumes to know the name of hers. She said, "I'm chilly. Can't we stop somewhere and get a drink?" "Do you really want to?" My voice must have puzzled her. She turned her head quickly to peer at me in the dim light. "I'd like to," she said, "unless you're in a hurry." "No, we could go to Mac's. It's only 3 or 4 blocks from here, but it's a nigger joint." She laughed. "But all I ask is that I don't get poisoned." "You won't, but you're sure you want to go?" "Certainly." She exaggerated her shivering. "I'm cold. It's early." Toots Max opened his door for us. I could tell by the politeness with which he bowed his round, bald-black head and said, "Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam," that he wished we'd gone someplace else, but I was not especially interested in how he felt about it. I said, "Hello, Toots. How are you this evening?" too cheerfully. There were only a few customers in the place. We went to a table in the corner furthest from the piano. Suddenly she was staring at me, her eyes already very blue, becoming very round. "I thought you could see in the car," I began. "How'd you get that scar?" she asked, interrupting me. She sat down. "That?" I put my hand on my cheek. "Fight a couple of years ago. You ought to see the other one on my chest." "We'll have to go swimming sometime," she said gaily. "Please sit down and don't keep me waiting for my drink. Are you sure you—" She began to chant, keeping time with her fingers on the table. "I want a drink. I want a drink. I want a drink." Her mouth was small, with full lips, and it curved up without growing wider when she smiled. We ordered drinks. We talked too fast. We made jokes and laughed too readily at them. We asked questions. About the name of the perfume she used was one, and paid too much or no attention to the answers. And Toots looked glumly at us from behind the bar when he thought we were not looking at him. It was all pretty bad. We had another drink, and I said, "Well, let's slide along." She was nice about seeming neither too anxious to go nor to stay. The ends of her pale blonde hair curled up over the edge of her hat in the back. At the door I said, "Listen, there's a taxi stand around the corner. You won't mind if I don't take you home?" She put a hand on my arm. "I do mind, please." The street was badly lighted. Her face was like a child's. She took her hand off my arm. "But if you'd rather—" "I think I'd rather," she said slowly. "I like you, Jack Bye, and I'm awfully grateful for—" I said, "Oh, that's all right." And we shook hands, and I went back into the speakeasy. Toots was still behind the bar. He came up to where I stood. "You oughtn't to do that to me," he said, shaking his head mournfully. "I know, I'm sorry. You oughtn't to do it to yourself." He went on just as sadly. "This ain't Harlem, boy, and if old Judge Warner finds out his daughter running around with you and coming in here, he can make it plenty tough for both of us. I like you, boy, but you got to remember, it don't make no difference how light your skin is or how many colleges you went to. You're still a nigger." I said, "Well, what do you suppose I want to be? A Chinaman?" This has been Nightshade by Dashiell Hammett. Production copyright 2025 by Mike Vendetti Productions. www.mikevendetti.com